Right.
You starting?
Uh-huh.
We starting? Oh, we starting now. Wait, what?
Run back, no.
내가 만든 쿠키 너를 위해 구웠지 But you know that it ain't for free
Taumafa everyone, welcome to Taumafa Talks. I have an amazing guest today, the amazing, incredible choreographer and director of NappyBoyz, and one of my closest friends. I have Ankaramy Fepulea'i.
Let's go.
Thanks for coming, Anks.
That's all good. Oh, thank you for inviting me. Oh,
good.
Oh, I can't wait to eat.
Yeah, so Anks and I love Korean food. Like, we always have it. So it just made sense that we're gonna have Korean barbecue. Yeah, so should we just dig in?
Yo, so what's the song?
I don't know, but this is... I don't know what it is. Salad?
I think it was like the Faro
Oh,
salad.
yeah.
Alright, let's try this. Where do you hold your chopsticks? Because I always use like up here.
Oh,
Or you like
I have my
down
middle
here?
finger.
Ah.
And then I just like, yeah, like I control this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here, you try it. What's the meat? Is it like
It's
seafood?
good. It's seafood.
Oh, okay.
It's actually nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Oh my god.
It's like fresh.
Ew.
Not the food review. Fresh. It's nothing. No joke.
The flavors
Impeccable. I think this is a pancake. Oh yeah, it is. It looks like kimchi pancake.
Good?
No.
What's your matter?
Can someone edit tears? AKA me.
That's you.
What is that?
Oh, that's nice. Oh, wow, that's so much food.
Guys, I wish you could see what's behind us. Oh, behind the camera.
Like show.
Whoa.
Can't wait to eat. You can have that.
I can't have salad at home.
Can't wait to eat. I'm so hungry.
Yeah. So we just got all our food here and we're super excited. So we're just gonna dig in.
What should we start with?
Should we put some meat on first
Yeah.
while we...
Oh, just like marinated.
Can you reach out?
Yeah.
No, we gotta cut it. We gotta cut it.
Oh,
Why are you using your chopsticks? They're down!
yuck! No, this. I just thought you cut it after. No, I don't know. I might be like,
No, I think you're right.
what actually?
Hey, is
It
it?
makes sense
There's-
too.
To cut it after, eh?
Should we cut it after?
Yeah. Oh. You know what? That's why I don't do it. Yikes.
Oh, cool.
Okay, well, add all the rest.
Oh, so what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, so... Because, you know, we were super busy eating.
I forgot this was a podcast.
I'm like, what am I talking about? So yeah, do you want to just talk about yourself and your journey, you know, becoming an artist?
Oh,
How did it all start? I feel like you got a long.
that's such a. I feel like I haven't had the time to like reflect on like being an artist because it's such an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Like there's no like graduation to being an artist. So like you're always learning and always experiencing different things. But yeah, I feel like, well, just to like answer the question, oh my gosh.
Or maybe, why don't you start from how you got into dancing?
How I got
Let's
into
just go from there.
dancing.
Yeah.
So when I first started dancing, I wasn't a hip hop dancer. I was like, I started as a ballroom dancer.
What?
Yes.
I've known X for years and I have no idea.
It was only because my uncle, he was a ballroom dancer, so like I was like the only one keen enough to like
Learn or
learn?
try it?
Yeah. Because I think he used to dance. Because he was in Oz now, but when he was in New Zealand, he used to dance with do you know Candy Lane?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think they were partners back in the days.
Oh.
And then he just started holding these classes for like I think for like old people.
Yeah.
Retired people, and I just joined them. And then that didn't last long though. It was probably like a year, and I was like, this is fun.
I've had enough.
And then I guess I went through a phase of my dad wanting me to be a rugby player. Any Pacific Māori boy probably went through this.
Yeah.
And then I think it was when we moved to New Zealand because I used to stay in Oz. I was born in Oz.
Yeah.
We moved over. I think like 10 years.
Oh, so you were doing the classes in Oz?
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't until I came to came to New Zealand, where like the hip hop scene was like, I think it was pretty popular, or like it was slowly becoming a thing.
Yeah.
I think it already was, but not as mainstream as it is now.
Now, yeah.
Because at the time it was because I moved over in 2007, and then.
Oh wow.
When I went to school, it was mostly like the Bring It On culture.
Yeah.
Did you Bring It On?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It was.
What do you even call that style now? Like
It was called hyphy. Yeah, like hyphy. Yeah.
So that was when I started doing like hip hop. I definitely became a fan of like Request.
Yeah.
2009. When the
Iconic.
With the girls.
Yeah. Love that.
I was like, so cool. And then I went to AO, Artedy College. Our school was quite known to have a lot of hip hop dancers. So like we have dancers that came out of AO, like Indigo, the MIA girls. There was Kyra. There was an RF. Oh, you were here.
Who?
Oh, Kyra. She was doing sorority. You did sorority, I think?
Yes, yeah. Even, do you have like any other prestige book? I'm trying to think of all the dancers.
Omar?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Holy heck. Yeah, that's
I feel like you have so many different, like all crew dancers were all AO.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was that when you guys were AO, it was never like we're like separate in crews. It was just like all big family. Like we're here in like our school, and then outside it's like to their crews. Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah, it was so cool going to AO during that time where all those dancers were at school. It was like so inspiring seeing like these guys like dancing on the world stage, and little you and I and me. I'm just like, wow. That's just so cool. But yeah, I was pretty much like surrounded by a lot of a lot of dancers.
Yeah.
That's in the scene. And then it wasn't until I had Moni and Seda as my dance teachers.
Right.
They were like the turning point of like what I do now. They really like created the path of like what I know, and
Yeah.
which is real cool. They sort of like opened up the side of I guess like choreography. It's not always foods on a burn.
Like just creating like the pathways for like the younger gen.
Yeah, like knowing that there is a career to dance.
Yeah.
It's not just like competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
But having Money as a teacher, it was like if you ever had Money as a teacher in high school, she was honestly like, I learned everything from Money in terms of leadership.
Yeah.
In terms of choreography. A lot of that I've sort of taken upon like her style on how she does things.
Yeah.
And just like made it my own. But yeah, Money is like such an inspiration. She like trained our little year 13s to year 11s like as if we were a crew. Like that's the sort of the atmosphere she created within our classroom.
That's cool.
Like, to train us like professional dancers.
Yeah.
And not just like
just dance
school,
class,
like,
students. Yeah.
Like she really pushed us to our limits, and I'm so grateful that she was able to do that for us, because it's pretty much set up my year level, and the way we see dance now. Like we've sort of like grown up real fast.
Yeah.
With our knowledge of dance, and I'm so grateful that I was able to be under their wing. And then with Seda, she pretty much opened this whole pathway of tertiary studies, and how it's not always about hip hop. You know, there's also contemporary dance.
Yeah.
And she took me to my first university audition.
Hey.
Yeah, she pretty much took me to the Open Uni auditions.
Yeah.
I managed to get in.
Yes.
Of course. And then I met pretty much everyone that I know now.
Yeah.
So a lot of my dance mates are now like my longtime friends.
And that's how we became close, through uni.
Because I know me and you, we met like ages ago, like through DDA, but like, it was just like
a hey, like, yeah, because like I was like with the girls, so I didn't really like interact with the others, like
cool.
Yeah, it was and then but I feel like so we knew of each other, and it was always like hi and like when we saw each other out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until uni when I did my post grad and you were first year.
Yeah.
And we connected like through Xavier, was it? Yeah, and then like with the other girls like jamming with like Samira, Chaz, and Natalia. Yeah, all the uni girls. And then we had, cause like I was creating my work at the time, and then Anx was there. We're like, come. Yeah, you and Jaira. Yeah, and then it was like, come, and then it's like, can you do me? You were like in the piece, like, actually, can you like do the drumming in there? Yeah. But that's how we became like close. Yeah, that's cool. And do you feel like, you know, because you talk about uni, did that like set a different path for what you thought you were going to do, like when you were in high school?
Yeah, definitely. Because coming from AO, like all I knew was like hip hop and stuff. Like I thought that's like it.
Yeah.
But coming to uni, it's like it's opened up such a bigger lens on what dance even is.
Yeah.
Especially me being someone like I didn't realize how valuable our culture is.
Yeah.
Especially in the arts, because like in like Samoa, the arts isn't really like your typical like job or like profession, because it's not your typical 9 to 5
Yeah.
in Samoa. Like a 9 to 5 is someone who's going out on the plantation.
Yeah.
So I guess it was definitely hard for my parents at first.
Really?
Yeah. Because with mum being a nurse and then dad being a geologist, they
Yeah.
expect me to be in like the science. And
That
all
yeah,
the-
that field, like yeah.
And I guess it's such a like, what's the word? Where it's just like one perspective of like seeing.
Yeah, like a bit narrow-minded.
Yeah,
like yeah.
Like, I don't blame my parents because that's all they knew when they.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I guess coming to New Zealand where those opportunities are available for us.
Yeah.
It definitely opened their eyes and they saw that I was passionate with dance and that I could do get work through it and all of that. So I guess that's what made them like let me carry on with what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think being Samoan has definitely been like a massive like resource.
Yeah.
With, a lot of my work because I love to turn back to my roots and create works about being Samoan or like Samoan customs. Because no one else is doing it except for Samoans.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I feel like creating those pieces is almost like sort of reconnecting those roots as well.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have the luxury of living in Samoa to
Exactly.
learn the customs. Like it's almost like this is my way of reconnecting back to my homeland. And that's probably what it feels like for you as well. Eh?
Yeah, just like I feel like for us growing up in the diaspora, like there's been like this sense of like no connection with our roots and our culture. So it's us like searching for what is like missing like within us. Why not? This looks bad. This looks.
I think you can turn it down.
Yeah, how
This
is
one.
it? But yeah, I feel for me like, because I've seen your journey, like from uni and going from just like in the street dance community, choreographer, dancer, to like becoming an artist, which is for me has been really like fulfilling almost, like just being an outsider but being your friend. It's been really awesome, like to see your journey and like to see the growth, and that's like for you and for our other friends. And I feel that's why I always like, and I know you think the same, is like how important it is to like always bring people with you wherever you go.
Always.
Like when we enter spaces, to not only think of yourself but how that can
Who it can benefit.
yeah,
as well.
who can benefit from that as well. Yeah. Do you feel like, I feel you are, but yeah, do you feel like that's how you go about doing things in life?
Yep, always. I just feel like our views and perspectives are always needed within these sort of like
Spaces
Spaces.
that aren't built for us?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also just like in terms of us, like we didn't get here because on our own. Like we have a whole village behind us that have helped us and supported us.
And they laid the foundation for us to be able to
Exactly.
do what we do.
Yeah. So I guess it's our role to carry on that journey of just opening up those spaces for other people who will open up spaces for more of our Pacifica Māori friends. Yeah.
Exactly. It's definitely been a journey. Like, I was the same as you. I never thought I'd be in this position. Like, I always just thought Worlds was my only goal as a street dancer. And then I was like, what else can I do? I'll be a backup dancer for an artist. Because it was like, that's all we saw and that's all we like thought that you could do. And it wasn't until I went to uni, well, when I finished at MIT, and my mentor and friend Kat was like, because I was like, oh, I want to do more. Like, I'm not finished studying. She was like, oh, why don't you go research? And it wasn't until going to Auckland Uni and just being in that like space of like, oh, I can actually like learn about my culture, and that's a part of my study. Like,
how cool
that's
is that?
cool.
That's
like,
so bomb.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely different for other people, but they really like set myself up for where I'm at now, and like just being around. Like for me, like, because in my class I was the only like brown Pacific woman in my class, so I was like, I felt like I had this like responsibility to do well, like with my research.
You always have to. You feel like you have to work like twice as hard.
Yeah, I felt, and I literally would like stay back late and like just be there like more than the average student. And then it wasn't until when I met your first year class where I was like, oh my gosh, there's other brown Pacific like people that are like me, with like hyena laughs, like, you know. And like that's when I knew like, oh, I want to like do this, but I want to do it for like myself and like other people and like my friends. And I just think it's so cool like that we've like met each other through that space, because I would have never thought I'd be like this close with him, like, you know, like.
Because that would have been such a big step for you as well, like coming from MIT, like being the only MIT student coming to like Auckland Uni.
For sure, yeah. Like I honestly thought that like that I was like, I actually thought I was too dumb to go to Auckland, and I feel like that's like very common for like our people. And I really was like, oh, I can't do it, like, but I was lucky to have people around me, like my oldest brother Raymond and like my other brothers Kat, who were just like, no, you can do it, and they were the ones that pushed me. But yeah, just being at uni, I was like, nah, I want to make sure that there's other people that don't feel like this, or like we'll make our own, you know. What are you doing?
I was just trying to cook it.
Yeah, I feel like for us too, we definitely have found our style and what we create and how we create through our time studying, but also being surrounded by other like-minded people. And we all like learn the contemporary scene, but we didn't want to like let go of what has made us, like our street dance.
It's almost like we've
history.
Sort of just adapted to it, just added it.
We just like added those aspects, and like it's just like layers. And I feel like that's what puts us apart from other dancers and artists.
Definitely.
And it makes us still authentic to ourselves, because we wouldn't just do contemporary. Like, what?
Like imagine just like taking out all of our
that what we've learned and like
just to solely do contemporary
and just to fit in. And I love how we were like, nah, let's just. But I reckon it helped me to be like that because I was around you guys. Like we had each other. Whereas if it was by myself, I'd kind of be like, I don't know. So you finally finished studying.
Finally.
Guys.
Wait.
Nah.
Hold on.
He might as well
The
be part of
system is not for me.
He might as well be part of to the desk. So that's how long.
So my 3-year degree turned out into a 5-year degree. But you know, we made it to the finish line. We made it. We're about to graduate with a diploma in teaching as well, which is good. So it's doable.
It really is. Don't give up. So you're still doing NappyBoyz, and what I love about NappyBoyz, which is Ang's company, is it's not just dance. Like it's a brand, like creating clothes. How's that been, like navigating that?
It's been fun. I started doing the clothing side during the first lockdown.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so that's when I started like experimenting with stuff and realized that people actually like our merch, which was really cool. So it's really cool seeing like our merch around like Auckland and stuff. Just be like, hey, look. Hey, look. But yeah, it's been such a good outlet as well, because I don't only just dance. It's also like one of my things. Obviously, like us, like we love fashion.
We love fashion.
As you can tell.
Like that's always like, we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, we're always like, no, we have the same style. X and I always buy the same stuff. I'm like, quick story time. So I was like, Anks, I'm gonna get this bag, and then he was like, oh nah. He's like, oh nah, I'm getting it. And then I was like, oh. And then I was like, what color do you reckon I should get? I'm thinking brown. He goes, you should get green. I was like, why, what color are you getting? He's like, I'm getting brown. He's like, is that what you told me? To get green? And he said, yeah. And what the funny thing was, he was like, not me gatekeeping that. And then I was like, no, not me, because you know how on Instagram you can like share it and then you can click the post? But I actually like screenshotted the photo and sent it so he didn't know the brand. So we both did the same exact thing. I was like, nah, you're done.
You're done. You need to leave.
But what I like about how we had the same style is I always just go to you like,
Yo.
what do you think of this? Like, all the time.
You should see half the messages.
Half our messages are there.
Like,
should I get this? Should I get this? Like, what do you think of this? And then it'll be like, both of us like mock each other. Like, we're always like, get out of my head. We're doing the same thing. Like, even yesterday, we're like, oh yeah, I'm just doing my washing. And then I was like, I'm just doing my washing now. And he's like, I'm going to the gym. I was like, I'm going to the gym after this. I was like, ah. You just want to be me so bad. Like,
get out.
Yeah, it's cool because like I feel like when we first met, it was like our mutual thing was like our dancing, whereas now it's like our friendship is more like it's like just like the background of us, like yeah, it's been cool, like.
Now it's just like clothes,
food.
Even though us two.
Well,
So like we've got like a friend circle, but like most of them don't like to try new stuff.
yeah.
Like we love our friends. They're like amazing.
Yeah.
But when we like suggest
places, they're always like, nah, they was to the same. I'm like, ugh. Alright.
yuck.
Whereas Anks and I are the same. We're like,
Yeah.
let's go try here. And then it just became a thing. We're always like, it'll be random, eh?
Just
Like, let's go. No, but okay, so then Anks and I will be like I got some things, because we always discuss like our creative ideas. And so we're like, oh, let's like have a meeting. And then Anks will be like, oh yeah, we'll go out and eat. But it could be discussed on Messenger. And we're like, nah, we need to go out and eat. So we made a thing of meetings, which I'm gonna write here. And it's basically like M, and then eat is like capital, and then things. So that's like our thing.
This could be a meeting.
Yeah, this is a meeting.
This would have been a meeting.
Do you want to tell the audience what we like?
Like in terms of K-pop?
Yeah. So we love K-pop. I got into it in 2018, but you got into it like ages ago, eh?
Yeah. Back in 2014. It was through my friend Trey.
Yeah.
Because he used to.
Wait, Trey the dancer Trey?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, makes sense. Is that all working to like K-pop?
That's when I fell into the rabbit hole of K-pop, and then I sort of took a break from it. And it wasn't until the lockdown last year I fell in the K-pop rabbit hole again.
Yeah.
But that was with BTS. You know, you always start with the like the BTS guide and how it shows like who the members are and like, what they're all like.
That's what I do. I go on the guide.
And then you fall into the compilations.
Yes, it's always the compilations. And then you watch like their funny videos. That's what I do.
Yeah. It's just cool to it's like you have to get to know them before you start listening to them.
Yeah, I did that too. Just so you like knew who the artists were.
Yeah.
And then the music is like, wow, like
So good. Who's your bias?
wait, my bias for BTS?
Yeah.
Like I'm 027 her.
Yeah, I think a lot of army are.
But I feel like I can't help but be drawn to Jimin. But like so like when I first got into BTS, RM was like my alt bias for ages, and then like because I'm a dancer, I was really drawn to Jimin and how he danced because he was very like fluid, but it would hit like he was really like his textures were really on, and I just loved it from that perspective. I was like, oh my god, it's so amazing. So then it was like Jimin for ages, but now I'm just getting wrecked by all the others. I'm like, like Sugar, like lately has been like, oh my gosh, like
Sugar's been
for me, and because I'm like so amazed by Sugar and how he like how he produces and like creates it. I'm always just looking from their creative like perspective, and then like just them as like people is so cool. Yeah, but that's just me. What about you?
When I first started listening to BTS, it was I think it still is. It was JK.
Oh yeah.
I think because of his vocals are so different to like what a K-pop sound normally sounds like. Such a beautiful voice.
Very distinctive, eh? Yeah. You can tell straight away.
And also because he's the youngest, and I'm also the youngest, so I was like, but in the recent concert, the Push Into Dance concert, the one that we just watched. Yeah. I was getting wrecked by J-Hope. Like her style, his fits, like the Kari.
J-Hope's style is how we dress. Yeah. If we had money.
If we had money.
We're just the worst version. But actually, like he's on him. I love his style, just like, and he's like the guy that always makes everyone like he's just always happy and loving. I love that. Like,
but when it comes to work, he's like,
he
looks scary. He looks scary.
Yeah.
Like when he's in like dancer mode, like. But like it's a good, like it's just like us.
I definitely, honestly, I see it in us because we're like this, like in real life. But as soon as we get into like the studio and creating, like we know that that's like business. Like we're on. Like we're not gonna play. Like we're obviously gonna have times when we play around, but we're like, even though watching like how he is and like another group like Lisa for Blackpink, like I seen her like how she is, and I was like, that's me. While she's just like watching and like very detailed. I'm like, that's us. Yes, that's what I saw.
And they were
all like scared, but I was like, that's like normal.
You're like gonna cry.
But I guess there's a difference between being like a choreographer to like dancer, I guess, or non-dancer.
That's so true.
How's it been for you in lockdown though? Like, what have you been up to? Thank you.
Lockdown. I've been spending so much on lockdown. But it's good. Like, in terms of like my mental health and stuff, it's been so good. But creatively, it's just been it's been such a struggle. And
it's just been a blockade.
But I think it's also good, like, as a creative, like, it sort of opened up a new side that we haven't experienced yet.
Yeah.
Like, we're so used to being in, like, spaces, but being at home, like, there's so much, not that much we can do.
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of challenged us as artists of what to do,
and
what we can create.
For sure, and I feel like we were kind of just like there was no other choice but to like explore. Because we're just like at home, like bored. And because as dancers, we perform on stage. We perform like out in public, but we couldn't do that. Like, and like I know that there were people like teaching Zoom classes and all that. Like for me personally, like that just wasn't for me because I prefer like learning and working like with people in person. So I didn't partake in that. But for me, like I definitely tapped into my love for fashion more during lockdown. And just like almost recognizing that I really want to do more content stuff. And I've been wanting to do that for ages. Like, I've been telling Anks, like, I want to do this, I want to do content, I want to do content, but never doing it. Because I was real scared, like, to do it. But then with lockdown, I was like, I've got nothing to lose. Like, and I'm seeing all these other people doing it, and I'm like, I can do that. Like, why aren't I doing that?
That's so true.
Yeah, so, yeah. I think for me, definitely getting into that.
That's so
and just
cool.
like doing that more. And
Look at us now, like you're doing way more content. Like, you sort of like set yourself up during lockdown and now you're doing the thing. Finally doing the thing.
Like this, like we never would have, this was just an idea. But like putting it like in action has been really cool and like fulfilling. Like I can't believe we did that. Do you have any like ideas of what you want to do moving forward? Like, I mean, I know it's hard with this pandemic, but just like,
In terms of the now, I think just building our South Auckland community more. Just doing more stuff for our people. Because, like, to be honest, all the talent is in South Auckland. Like, no cap. Not being biased. Because we're from South Auckland. Like, there's just so much potential that hasn't been unlocked yet. And like, our people are just so creative.
And it's just like, how can we put other people on or like create opportunities and spaces for others? Like, I've noticed that in this lockdown, there have been more creatives coming out. And I love it. Like,
that's so cool.
Like Southside, Jeffrey, Christian Aftasi on Instagram, Cassiano. There's just so many artists that have come out, and I'm just like,
and like seeing through their work, like you sort of see who their circles are, and those artists as well.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Like, that's so talented.
And they're from South Auckland.
Period.
But no, so many artists like around Auckland have like definitely shown themselves, and it's like a positive that I've seen in this pandemic, and it's just been real inspiring because like for me, like I've always just seen like established artists and like, which is not a bad thing, but it's like I'd love to see something like fresh from like the younger gen, and they've definitely like shown themselves. They're all aspects, different art forms.
And I love how a lot of the work is from the perspective of a young Pacifica Māori who lives in New Zealand. Like you can definitely see like their lens through their work. It's so cool. How that's like expressed through what they do and stuff. I'm just like,
Is there any advice that you have for any of our young people out there wanting to get into the arts or do anything creative, whatever they love?
Any advice? I think just when you finish school, you don't need to know what you like want to do in the future. Like it's not like a thing to have it by 18. Like I didn't figure out what I wanted to do until I was like 23.
Even like now, I'm like still trying to figure things out.
Like it's because times are always changing and like nothing is ever going to be the same. Just know that you don't need to know what you have to do. Take your time with it, and just run with it. Like even if you're not confident with whatever you want to do, just run with it. And if it doesn't work, that's all good. Like, and
that's okay.
Like who cares if you like slip up, like or
it's how we grow.
Exactly. But
I love that. Period. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
That's all good.
This is what we do anyway. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and like and subscribe. No, just joking. And join us on the next one. Thank you.
Bye.
Annyeong.
안녕하세요.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so you talked about. Fraud. Okay. Thanks, Zoe.